everyone, welcome back to another Sunday Nights with Faye Seidler. We have so much good news tonight. It's going to be a great show, like it always is. Like, subscribe, share. For the first story tonight, I want to let you know that we have January 21st set as our tentative date for this special session. This is something that Armstrong has said should be happening, and it will likely be covering the topic of our rural health funding as part of getting funding from the federal government. From the people I've talked to, this funding is very insignificant, so there's probably going to be hard conversations about how North Dakota can survive with the limited funding that we are being given for our rural health infrastructure. While anything can actually happen in a special session, technically any legislator can produce any bill they want, all legislators and lawmakers are strongly encouraged to focus on very particular things. So we shouldn't have to worry about, banning trans people from life during the session, hopefully, and it should be a very brass tacks session. For folks who are interested in suicide prevention training, there is an upcoming training opportunity on December 18th at 12 p.m. This is a virtual training opportunity, something that is provided by the VA. There are a lot of training opportunities like this between First Link, the Health and Human Service Department, ND Thrives, ND Hopes, the Suicide Prevention Coalition. There are so many opportunities right now for folks to get better equipped with suicide prevention tools. This is one opportunity. If you want more, message me and I will get you the next one. So I just want to highlight that it's happening, but you can always access more of this training. Most of it is not for you to be a therapist, but just to be someone who can be comfortable talking about suicidality with someone who is struggling and refer them to resources, or at least to make sure that you are keeping the conversation something that is nice and warm for the person talking to you. In Fargo on Sunday, December 21st, that'll be next Sunday, there is Over Easy with a Side of Hot Drag. This will be one of our 18-plus drag events put on by FM Drag. If you're in the Fargo-Moorhead community and you want to attend drag shows, I recommend liking and following FM Drag United to get these directly to you so you're not counting on me, this random news girl, telling you about it sometimes. So I just wanted to highlight that and that it's happening in their work so you can find more of it. Moving into job opportunities, I get to celebrate a job opportunity from the North Dakota Department of Public Instruction. They are hiring a communications specialist to kind of be a social media influencer for them. This will be effectively handling their social media, doing engagement strategies, similar to the work that I do across Facebook, but I know there are a lot of communication specialists that I work with across the state. If this is something that you're interested in, or you know someone who might be, I would love for the North Dakota Department of Public Instruction to have a stronger social media presence. I think our best department right now is the North Dakota Department of Transportation. They are killing it for some reason. Like, whoever is working there needs a double raise. Like, I don't know why they are so good and why every other government institute's social media in North Dakota is not as good. So please apply to this. Please raise their work, because their work is vital and essential to helping make sure our kids are safe, taken care of, that our teachers are well acknowledged, and our schools are thriving. So please share and apply. I want to highlight a Handle with Care information session that's put on by Flourishing Families. Now, this is actually an entire training that you can look at. You won't get to see use for it, but it is training to make sure that you're handling youth who've experienced traumatizing events in ways that are centering and caring and trauma-informed. This is really important, I think, for every professional to take a training like this at least once. Not even just for your professional service, but you might have kids in your life who would benefit from you being able to interact with them in ways that are safe. This is similar to suicide prevention training. It's kind of harm reduction trainings for individuals who've experienced child abuse or trauma, and they're not different demographics a lot of the time, and it's one of the things that I try to promote as much as I can. It's as important to me, prevention of child abuse, as suicide prevention. If you'd like to learn more, I really recommend following Flourishing Families for more opportunities. They do a lot of great work. I want to highlight the Needle Exchange program, and I want to highlight a story about a professional saying that the Needle Exchange program is around harm reduction and saving lives. There has been some local reporting that has been very sensational and misleading. There's been some efforts by local Fargo City Commissioners to demonize these programs and even share incorrect studies to advance the goals of trying to reduce harm reduction out of an emotional belief that providing needles and safe, sterile needles is increasing drug use or encouraging it. That is not something borne out in the data. Health professionals care. If it was honestly in any way promoting behavior that put people at risk, we wouldn't do it. in the healthcare community. Like, it is so difficult to not yell as loudly as I can about how silly it is to believe that we have construed harmful policies and are doing them out of some like desire to like increase drug use. It is nonsense. Please listen to doctors that work in this, healthcare advocates and specialists that spend their careers on this, because they do it to help people. They have the data, they depend on it, decisions are made with it, trust them. In bad news that has been happening, I didn't report on it last week, I actually wanted to, I just got missed. Pride Institute inpatient programming is coming to an end. Pride Institute did a lot of work with substance abuse, speaking on this topic, and actually was very helpful for a lot of LGBT plus individuals to be able to have a treatment center that centered their needs and made sure they felt safe. A lot of local places, I think, care and try, but they often are not centered to LGBT plus individuals, and there can be a lot of minority stress that folks feel. And when you are navigating a journey of recovery, you really need to be in an environment where you're not going to be triggered by multiple different reasons. So I think local options can still be good. It's just this was the best option, and it's not on the table anymore. I submitted a letter to the editor to the form. I don't know if they'll publish it or not, but it talked about this page in particular because I think that North Dakota is an incredibly beautiful state. I am born and raised in North Dakota. I've lived here basically next door to here my entire life. And something that I've appreciated and centered myself is that I love this state. I love the state I was born. I love that when I look at the horizon, it goes on forever. I love that we can see such a beautiful like cast across our sky into infinity of the cosmos, and the awe that we can feel in smallness and connection to the universe from where we are on the Great Plains. So I think this page honors and celebrates and centers a lot of it, and I think this is cool. In scary news, Trump signed an executive order that is blocking regulation for AI. I read into it and it's probably above my head, like high-level policy stuff, but it seems bad because regulation on AI is necessary to prevent abuse or fraud or all those things that we would want to care about. I also am concerned about all the regulations we have that prevent things like child abuse or child abuse materials being done with AI, or AI generating scandalous pictures of, let's say, politicians or other people in the spotlight, or being used to target, bully, or abuse other people. This isn't giving carte blanche necessarily to AI to do whatever it wants or to not put restrictions into that. It sounds more like it's about making sure states can't stop like data centers or can't stop funding for it, but it still isn't good, and we should strongly regulate this in a lot of ways. Recently in the news, there's been a lot of controversy over the current SNAP restrictions that North Dakota has volunteered themselves into. What this means is that folks on SNAP will no longer be able to purchase things like soda or cake mix and stuff like that, starting, I believe, September of 2026. This is not good to do this. It is being hailed specifically for health reasons and the idea that this will make our population healthier, and that's just a farce. That's not real. According to numbers from our governor, about 50,000 people are on SNAP. That accounts for over 5% of our population in North Dakota. Stopping them from having access to spend money on things like soda is not going to make a dent in any kind of healthcare thing. It's just taking accessibility away from folks who are already struggling to purchase what makes sense for them. In bad news, it seems like our federal government is just basically going to give up on healthcare, and it really seems that we're moving into just probably millions of Americans losing access to healthcare in 2026. There are a lot of emergency efforts happening right now, so this is a story I'm sharing on that, but it could literally be different by the time between me recording this and me posting this. I think people take this seriously, but I think that a lot of our Republicans in national office don't know how to solve this problem and refuse to give money to folks and use the government to help people. So we're kind of at a stalemate where everyone's going to suffer, seems like is what is on table. I will say the good news is that it seems like more and more every day, people on both political parties want single-payer healthcare because it's the only system that actually works, and we can finally move on from this really exploitative system that has like 30 middlemen between us and healthcare, each of them collecting their cut. So it will be good to have single-payer healthcare for reasons for everyone and everything, and hopefully this is how we get there. I talked about this last week, but I just want to highlight again that the arrests happening for immigrants from ICE are not are not about immigrants being criminal or having criminal background. The escalation of anti-immigrant efforts, the escalation, the xenophobia within it is just continuing to be worse and worse as more minor and minor petty violations are getting picked up and getting people sent back. I've heard stories of nationalization ceremonies being interrupted and people being arrested by ICE and deported when they did everything right and were 10 minutes away from being recognized as a citizen. It's hard to describe these efforts as any other way than just evil and inhumane and terrible. Last week there was a reading of Christmas Carol by Em Christie. I'm happy to say that you can listen to and see that recording on YouTube right now, and you should, because if you don't, you might be haunted by 3 ghosts, and they will come for you, so better check it out, share it with your friends, keep people safe. Ghosts are haunting a lot of folks these days. In exciting news, Minnesota has enacted paid sick leave for all workers across the state. Paid sick leave is essential support for individuals to assure that they are not losing income when they are ill. Part of being human is that we get sick, and these are basic protections to assure that when that happens, folks are not struggling to, pay bills. And prior to this, when folks just lost money for not going to work, incentivize them to go to work sick. And this is folks who are working customer service jobs where they are coming into work sick and getting everyone else sick because they have no other choice in the matter. And that isn't good for public health. It's not good for the stability of individuals living and working here. And if they are not stable in their life, that's going to destabilize everyone. It's going to destabilize our workforce, our businesses, our economy, our country. It's all bad unless we can literally just stay home when we're sick. That's the bar we need to meet. And in Minnesota, we met it. I hope to one day meet that in North Dakota. Give me 20 years. I'll get there. There's an article by Indie Monitor. Actually, a lot of my stuff has been from Indie Monitor. Aren't they great? They share so much good stuff. But it's talking about the free school meals proposal that's going to be on the ballot, or very likely to be on the ballot, in our 2026 during our 2026 elections. The curious thing about this article is it presents it like this completely new thing they never had to consider, even though that we've had very strong pushes in our 2023 legislative session and our 2025 legislative session. So if they want to know the impact, they can look at all the research done by many advocates across the state, because this is just a good for everyone. It supports families, it supports youth, it supports public health, it supports the stability of our state. It encourages people to live and continue to live in a state where they actually got fed, because when kids are starving, they don't love where they live, do they? So this is just a good thing that we will have to drag our lawmakers kicking and streaming to actually solve, but we'll get there. In my last bit of news, I just have an action item to share put together by the National Association of Education, talking about some of the issues with changing the classification of professional degrees. A lot of that is over my head, but my understanding is it's really going to impact things like loan forgiveness or loan access. It is going to make key professions of counseling and healthcare and education harder for people to get into. These are careers we want people to be well educated in. We have a strong need for more people in these fields. The reclassification to me, I don't know, as just a, simple country girl living in North Dakota seems bad to me. Doesn't make any sense to me at all. What are we doing here? Boo! So that's my show. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for joining me. I hope it was a good time for you. Please share it out, because I think next year is the year of Faye. It's going to be 2026, Make Faye Fetch. And I need your help to make me even fetcher than I think is possible. Together we can make me the fetchest commodity across North Dakota, because it's kind of funny. So help me do that. Otherwise, until next time, bye. Bye, 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 bye.